of Mind Over Masculinity, where we are not afraid to challenge the old rules of manhood and redefine success, strength, and the mental health for the modern man. I'm your host Avik, and today we are diving deep into a conversation that's honestly overdue. Why I'm saying this? Because what if success doesn't have to come from the constant pressure? What if alignment, not the force, but is the real path forward? Great to think about, right? Do let me know, dear listeners, what you think about this. And joining me, someone who's walked the path herself, Grace Najean. So, welcome to the show, Grace.
Oh, thank you so much, Adik. I'm so honored to be here, and especially as a pink woman and being here with you and talking to your listeners. This is a really honor and a privilege. Hopefully, I can bring out, my point of view and my perspective as a woman, and give some like a kind of, feedback or reflection to your
Mhm.
listeners.
Lovely. That's so lovely. And Grace, like before we start, I'll quickly love to introduce you to all the listeners. Dear listeners, Grace is a transformational leadership strategist, creator of the Soulfluence Method, and a former platinum coach with Tony Robbins. Yes. So she's coached executives, entrepreneurs, and high performers worldwide to shift from stress-driven hustle into sustainable, soul-aligned leadership. And today we are unpacking how men, especially those raised to push harder, work longer, and tough it out, can actually find more power, clarity, and freedom through alignment, not the pressure. So I'll not take much of your time, dear listeners. Welcome to the show, Grace, and it's really an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Amazing. So Grace, this is like so many men have been taught that pressure equals progress. So in your work with the high performing leaders, what do you see as the cost of pressure based success? Like, if you can share.
Yes. So being myself, high achiever, I attract lots of high achievers as a
Yeah.
clients, right?
Yeah.
And because that nature, I don't know.
Hmm.
My 70% of clients are men. So
Okay.
yes, I have lots of conversations and I'm working with that male word. And nowadays, even women, we have that kind of a alpha male, style is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
success. That's the, how we
Yeah.
can be leader. And we have the misconception of that, which created, I don't know, romance,
Right.
whatever, Uh, so I realized that there are lots of pressures coming
Hmm.
from outer world, right?
Okay.
So what is the outer world? Because we are in the society of
Hmm.
conditioning and programming since young age, yeah.
Yes.
And even myself, I'm mom or of
Hmm.
my daughter, but even if we are very much loving and we want to the best of our children, but
Hmm.
we give them what we know, you know
Yes.
so it's not because we want to hurt them or we want to, bad things, but because we believe this is the best thing we can give. And then we push them, we give them more, and we give a lots of that kind of programming and preconditioning of success because we want them be successful, right? So
Hmm.
start from there, and then we go to school. Model school system is a scoring, comparing,
Yeah.
competition and judgment and all that. So we again it enforce our that competition and the how can I say the comparing with others, right? And then you go to uni, same thing. Go to job. You wouldn't believe how many of my clients,
Hmm.
upper level senior managers and managers, what they worry really about is what their boss think about them.
Yeah, true.
That is shocking for me. You know, at that stage of life, they're at that position, and when they do presentation or at the boards, seriously, they are such a leaders. But as soon as it goes to the senior leadership
Mm,
or board members, they freeze. They freeze. How can I impress them? You know,
exactly.
how can I make myself better? Show off. Yeah, because it's not because they're like them, it's just because we are conditioned to prove,
Mm,
we need to show how we are, right? So I think there are lots of conditioning since young age. Unless you are aware about that and you do lots of personal development, then I think you can start to change that and then upgrade yourself, right? So that's one thing. Second thing I realize is that we have a lots of rules to ourselves. Success needs to be this,
mm,
expectation, this, right? And so young age, yeah, like early 20s, when you start job, you are so ambitious, and, you want to
mm,
achieve the things, good things, but somehow we caught up by life
mm,
life expectations. So it means you need to have a certain income, you need to have a certain type of house, you need to have a certain brand of a car, you need to have a certain number of children, and you need to have all these things happens, right? Then unfortunately and sadly, I feel it's very sad. We become the prisoner of that condition. It means that somehow they think they become, I need to achieve this project. I need to have a promotion. I need to have a certain amount of, income to be successful. Um, so I think it comes down to they made that rule, and almost like they are
mm,
prisoner of their wages, their salary, end of the month. And suddenly, when you're successful and then you have that comfort, yeah, comfort zone, and then you build that comfort zone, and now if you don't work, you're gonna lose this. And suddenly, the fear hidden, they're hit by fear and scarcity. Okay, I don't. If I don't keep up, I can't keep this one. I have to keep up. Then their passion start to really defeat, and then their ambition start to loosen, and then they become just working because I have to maintain this this lifestyle, this, and I have to, especially as a man, I have to provide. I have to provide. um so I think that makes such a pressure.
exactly. So amazing. I mean, that really, really explains everything. And um, do you think that men even realize that they are burning out? Or um, is it something that they once, I mean, they only notice when their health or relationships start breaking down? What do you think?
Yes, because when we are leader, um you think about everything else, everybody else. It means you think about your team, you think about your KPI, you think about your company, your project, your family, and everybody else. That's a little what they think the leaders do, right?
Yeah.
And so what do you give up at the end?
Mm,
The last thing becomes is yourself, isn't it?
exactly.
And then you start to lose that how can I say your the worst thing is that they know it's important.
Mm,
They know it's important, and that creates even more stress and guilt
exactly.
because if they're not keeping up, because they know it's important, and but they have to give up because they think it's the only thing they can give up, right? So then they start to lose their health, and then if you don't have a health, you don't have energy, and then life will start to being really tough because you don't have enough energy. When you don't have energy, of course, it's not impacting only work because at work, at least you're going to push yourself to go through it, right? But
Mm,
when you come back home, this is the place you can relax and then you can, whatever you think you can do less because
mm,
it's a given. It's a there. You don't need to do effort to keep it. So therefore, they do less effort and then they neglect their relationship, their health. Of course, even intimacy. If you're tired, do you want to do intimacy or do you want to watch just Netflix? Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think it goes to vicious circle, and then of course, then you lose more momentum, more health, more relationship. And I ask sometimes to my clients,
Mm.
do you remember when you started work? Why did you start the work? Right? Most of client, especially married men, they said, yeah, because I wanna have a good life and provide a good life for my children and for my family. That's a beautiful because they really love, their family.
Exactly.
But problem is they don't spend any more the time with them. They don't see children growing. They don't know what their wife loves. They don't spend even time with them, and they become really how can I say,
Mm.
the the prisoner, right? Or just the machine of the matrix. How to say?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. Yes. Very true. So like and also like a lot of men listening might think that if I slow down or ease up on the pressure, then won't I lose my edge? So how do you respond to that fear?
Yeah. So I think that's a stress response,
Okay.
because we've been trained so much under stress, working under pressure. Yeah.
Mm.
So it becomes like an automatic system response of your body. You need to produce that stress chemical almost for you to function and then go to the edge and then push. Yeah. So it's the kind of almost addiction.
Okay.
It doesn't maybe not make sense of who want to be addicted to the stress, but it is because your body produces that a stress hormone all the time, and then when it's missing, your body feels like, oh, I need more to keep up, you know. Um, so the neurobiologically, the stress response is like even chronic stress, it's
Mm.
a sympathetic, fight or flight
Yeah.
state, right? Isn't it? So you need to keep up. But the problem is anyone and anything, the living things can't keep up the system. You can't reset. So
Yes.
in a moment, it's
Mm.
gonna break somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Um, and because of that stress-based thinking, you become the survivor mode, the very dangerous thing of survival mode. Let's imagine if you are like a front of a lion, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Do you think it's that moment you're gonna be creative? You're gonna be loving. You're gonna think about the future. Are you gonna be, No, it's all about me, 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 right?
Yeah.
So therefore, your focus is on me. It's not because you are egocentric or you're a bad person. It's just your hormone. It's just survival system, your body. Because of when you are in that moment, you become protective. You need to fight or flight, right?
Yes.
So I think that's a really scientific, evidence of behind of it. And nowadays we talk about a lot of quantum physics, quantum things. I don't know if you heard about energy field, frequency, manifestations, and all that, right?
Yeah.
So we are energy, right? Everything we have is based on energy. Everything on Earth, right, and the universe.
Yes.
So even your thoughts has the energy, right? Emotion is all energy field. So it means whatever you thought, whatever you feel, it's not only influencing your mood,
Mm.
but it's also influencing your outcome because that's alone. Yeah. Um. So altogether, I think that's why we are keep pushing it, keep pushing it, keep pushing it.
Mm.
Um. You know, but you need to have a kind of disruption to break it. So that's why, sadly, unfortunately, people go through like a huge disease. or lose someone or face of death or the big things happens in life, then they can break the state and suddenly they wake up, right? Oh, no, shoot, I need to change, and that can change. But why wait till that things happen? You know, you can change from now, before the things happens, and then
Exactly.
definitely you can change yourself.
Exactly true. Yeah. Ooh, amazing. And like so let's talk about the identity. Men like many men build their self-worth around what they achieve. Now, how can a man start separating his value from his achievements without losing that pride in what he has built?
Yeah, I think it's not it's very difficult, for everyone. I think that male and female polarity is almost either it's going to extreme or either it's disappearing, right?
Okay.
So there are two type of male figures. I think alpha male and some others really opposite side
Yeah.
almost because especially I think in Asian country or because I was born in Korea and I lived in France, in Europe, and now I'm in Australia. So I've been facing these different
Mm.
cultures, right? But I see
Yeah.
often that Asian European or Asian westernized people uh, because we are like a as a mom, we protect them too
Mm.
much, right?
Yeah.
And they lose that alpha male side as well. So
Mm.
it's very difficult too. Alpha male is difficult, but that other part of side is difficult too, right? As a male.
Mhm.
So I don't think it's a matter of identity of being me as a man. It's not about that. I think it's a human being. What is the purpose of you being here in this in this world, right?
Mm.
Um, but because of the stress and the conditioning, I think all we do is really disconnecting of
Yes.
who we are. More really, and we are disconnected. So when I do usually coaching sessions, it's not about really changing them. It's almost
Mm.
bring them back to who they are really.
Exactly.
And that takes so much energy, so much work deconditioning them. It's like a layers of onions. Some people has so many layers. When we are there, oh, it's a big one is done. Then there's the next one, and then it's next one, right? So yeah, unfortunately, we have that conditioning. We need to decondition um from our past.
Exactly. Yeah. Amazing. And so, Grace, like, what's the one belief or mindset you wish every man could release, and one belief that you hope every man could embrace on his journey towards aligned, sustainable success?
Yeah, I think they really need to listen to their own voice because there are so many voices. I would ask, sometimes
Yeah.
when you want to really push and you want to do, more and have more, do more, um, ask yourself, is it really my voice?
Understood. Wow.
Um,
Hmm.
that's only way you can start to connect with yourself in your voice. So the problem of the 3D world, in this world is we need to push and then make a lot of efforts and in time to move one space to the other space. Yeah. But if you have that higher consciousness, if you are connected to who you are uh, energetically, you don't need to have that much effort and then, having doing more, having more, and then pushing more. Just being yourself is the power. But how you can connect with yourself is gonna be very challenging in this world.
Exactly. Exactly true. Mm. And like at the same time, um, if a listener who is feeling stuck, or maybe they are disconnected, but doesn't know where to begin, what's the first courageous step he can take today? I mean, what do you suggest?
Self awareness. Self awareness. Yeah. So I give a, most 50% of my clients, I start with the self awareness. Um, 95% of people, science says 95% of people think they know themselves, but only 30%, 15 to 30% of people know who they are really.
Okay.
Simple exercises, yeah. I give them like a SWOT analysis. It's a marketing tool, so BCG. But I ask them do your personal, professional SWOT analysis. By the way, I do myself every year because
Mm,
I evolve. It changes. So SWOT
mm,
is strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities. So, strengths and
mm,
weaknesses are your internal, and opportunities and threats are external. So write down everything
mm.
about that four areas: personal and professional. And second exercise I give is ikigai. Ikigai is Japanese philosophy. There's even a
Yes.
book.
Mm,
So I really encourage them and invite them to brainstorm everything they love to
mm.
do and everything they are good at and then everything they can be paid for and what
Yeah.
the world needs. Yeah. If you do
Exactly.
so, you are living in your passion, mission, vocation, and professional. Everything
Yeah.
covered. Starting ask questions and start to write down who you are. And also I use that yellow strengths finder, knowing really what
Okay.
are your strengths is as well. Yeah.
Uh,
Because who sit down, even 10 minutes a day, okay, now I'm gonna think about myself, who
uh,
I am, discover myself, We don't do that,
yeah.
right? But that's the most important thing because we are sounded so many outer world voices. We lost our own voices. Yeah. That's the only way you need to connect. We connect with your own voice
Mm.
and start to know who you are.
Exactly. That's the $1 million thing you have mentioned, I have to say. Yeah, that's very important. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow, wow. Lovely, lovely, Grace. I mean, this has been an incredibly insightful and healing conversation. And if you ask me, I definitely wanted to continue and on. But yes, I know time is constrained. But um, I have to say that you have given us the permission and the tools to think or to rethink what success, strength, and alignment really look like as a man. So, thank you so much for this. And dear listeners, I have to mention to you that if you are listening, or maybe you will be listening sometime, and something in this conversation stirred you, then whether it's that quiet exhaustion, or the sense of striving without fulfillment, or you say longing to reconnect with your deeper self, then know that you are not alone. And you can learn more about Grace's work. You can reach out to her website and the social media links I'll put into the show notes. And so before I do that, I mean, Grace, if someone wants to connect with you, what will be the best medium to connect?
Yes, as we mentioned, website. So www Grace Najean, my name, Grace Najean.com. And by the way, I run a retreat in June and November to have that transformation and just that disruption because I really believe only one way not that's not true. It's not only one way. It's the easiest way and fastest way you can have that transformation and getting connect with yourself is having that disconnection from where you are, your environment, and then people, everyone. So I bring people for 7 days and having that experience of connecting with themselves and finding their own voices.
Exactly, exactly. Lovely. So I'll put the links into the show notes, dear listeners. And um, if this episode has resonated with all of you, then please share it with a friend, family, or someone who actually listened to this, and leave us a review and help us spread this message that there's more than the one way to succeed. And sometimes the strongest thing you can do is to um, like let go of the pressure and come back to yourself. Great. So, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into Mind Over Masculinity. I'm your host, Avik, reminding you that it's not just about building a life that looks good, but it's all about building the one that feels good. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.